And welcome back to another episode of Underdog Podcast. The great Thursday, at least where I live at. Of course, as the saying goes, I vacation or I live where you vacation down here in Sunshine State, Florida. I look outside my back door, my back porch window, and it's nice and sunny. Let me not jinx it before it ends up being like a thunderstorm this weekend or something. Man, this is a funny story before I get into today's topic. I gotta share with y'all because, well, it just made me laugh my ass off last night. My kids, man, they crack me up. They intentionally get on my nerves on purpose, especially my daughter. Just that's a highlight of her day, just to aggravate me. Almost like she reminds me of someone I know, like myself. So last night, I go in there. I tell them to have leftover spaghetti for dinner. So we got tons of leftover stuff. I'm like, eat the leftover spaghetti for dinner. There's enough for both of y'all. Obviously, that means if there's enough for my daughter and my son, they need to split it evenly. I'm in the bathroom and I hear noise, so I'm like, okay, someone's getting in there into the kitchen and using the microwave. I know it's my daughter. One, my son is not yet responsible enough to do it. Two, if he did try to do it, he'll think he'll mess up or whatever. So he is not yet confidence level up there where he think he can do it on his own. And then three, well, he's not getting off the game anyways, unless I go in there and tell him to come and eat. So I go in there and I look to see, okay, make sure, regardless of whoever got in there, that they split the food up. They ate half of it. I look at the container of spaghetti. I'm like, well, damn, there's like a corner left here. And then I'm like, okay, which child do I need to go yell at? And my first thought was, it's my daughter. But now I was like, no, no, no. You need to give her the benefit of the doubt, But then as I'm walking towards her room, I'm like, nah, no, you know she did it. You know she did it. I go in there and say, hey, did you eat the spaghetti? She's like, yeah. I was like, did you think to leave anything for your brother? She's like, oh, I left him some. She's like, I left enough for him. I was like, no, you didn't. You should have gave half. You should have ate half of the spaghetti. She's like, no, no, no. And no, no, no. And she started laughing. So she's like, what are you talking about? I left enough for him. And that's exactly what she means. I left enough for him. Not that she gave him half, but it's enough for him to have. I was like, man, what are you doing? That's kind of selfish, bro. Like, you can't do that, man. Especially in this household where, like, these other two people that care about you probably the most. Like, I don't want to say the most, but hell, this is what we got. This is us three, man. And I'm like, hey, you need to split half of it with your brother. She's like, what? He can eat that. He's good. I was like, come on, man. You cannot be that selfish. And then I was like, she's like, I left him a corner. I was like, no, you didn't. I went and grabbed a container. I was like, look at this, man. I was like, this is like 20%. You ate like 80% of it. She's like, yeah, that's still good enough for him. Oh my God. And she just kept laughing and stuff. I'm like, oh my God, just go, man. And there comes my son. He's like, what? You didn't leave me that much? I was like, whatever. Just don't even worry about it. And then she's like, that's enough for him. You'll be all right. She's like, you'll be fine. I'm like, dude, you can't do that, man. Just think of others. Don't be selfish. And as she walks away, or she keeps talking and talking, I'm like, whatever, just go take a shower. Go take a shower. And then here, my son is like, ah. He always loves it when I yell at her. I don't know why, because I never yell at her for the same stuff that he does. I'm like, I yell at her. You're just not paying attention. You have your headset on. You're ignoring the world. You just don't know it. And then she's walking away and stuff. And she's like, well, can I say one more thing? I was like, no, go take your shower. I'm yelling. I'm like, go take your shower. Get out my face. I don't want to hear this shit. Go take your shower. And then she walks around the corner and goes towards the bathroom. And then she comes back out and then she says, she comes back out and says, I ate a cupcake too. Then she says, run. She's like, run, Sydney, run. I'm like, what? Like a cartoon character, man. Like, she always referring to herself in the third person, which is annoying to me and her brother. And she's like, run, Sydney, run. I'm like, oh my God, man, get over yourself. Because she knew I was about to go chase after her. Like, what are you doing? Just go get in the bathroom. Go take a shower. And she just likes to mess with me, man. And then next thing you know, she comes out, make sure I tell them to brush their teeth. Obviously, after they get done eating and stuff for the night, brush your teeth before you go to bed. Oh my God. They killed me with this. They killed me with this. I didn't realize how much these things, when they say that they're child proof containers or child lock containers, wherever the case may be, that they actually are child proof. So my daughter comes out and I have the bottle of mouthwash It's one of those things where you got to push in and turn. And I was like, no, that's not. I was like, that's all you gotta do. It's that simple. And they're like, I don't know how to open this. I was like, what are you talking about? She's like, I don't know how to open this. I was like, what? I always tell them to read the instructions. So I was like, it's simple. And then here comes my son. He's like, oh my God, yeah. How do you open this? What is going on? And they're both like, yeah, we don't know how to do this. I was like, oh my God, this is insane. This is insane. I was like, this is really childproof. You guys really can't figure this out. I was like, here we go again. Here we go again. United States of America education system is failing. I must be failing as a parent too, trying to educate them because they clearly cannot open up a simple bottle of mouthwash where you got to push in and turn. Like, that's it. Squeeze the two markings and turn. I'm like showing them. So we spent like 10 minutes. I spent 10 minutes trying to show these kids how to open this. And they're like, I'm like, yeah, like they're 5 or something. They're like what, 12 and 10, something like that. I'm like, come on, man. Come on. And it was like, oh my God, this is so hard. So I do it, and they looked so amazed, like I did a magic trick. Like I literally pulled a rabbit out of a hat. They were so shocked. They was like, oh my God. I was like, you can't be serious. I don't know if y'all, I was like, I don't know if y'all just fucking with me, or I don't know if this is real or not, or y'all just joking around. But they're like, no, we can never get it open. I'm like, all right, man. I guess I'll put the mouthwash in a different bottle for an easier cap for you guys get this open because I don't want you struggling over this. It's like, and I even tried to have them do it, and they still couldn't get it. My son is trying to use all his little muscles, and I'm like, what? It's not strength, man. It's just you squeeze it at these markings, you push it in and turn it. I was like, I can't believe this. I can't believe this is happening right now. This just make me laugh, man. As they make me laugh, I make them laugh. And, oh my God, this just killed me. It just killed me, man. Uh, just thinking about it in my head, just the looks on their face. My son's rolling on the floor, so he's like, "Oh my God, I cannot get this open. I can't believe you got this open." I tell him all the time, like, "Hey man, if y'all can't get this easy shit in life, I don't know what to tell y'all." Like it gets so much harder. Like I don't know what to tell y'all. Right now, it's the easy part. All you gotta do is kind of listen to what I tell you to do, because you're still learning about the world. But man, if you guys can't get this stuff done, and if you can't get it, you got about 8 more years before both of them are 18 and older and stuff. Like you got, you got to get this stuff done, man. We're on the timetable. Like I don't want them in my house around 23, 24, man. They gotta go. That's just not me. They kill me. They kill me. I was like, oh man. I'm saying like, man, you guys get straight A's too, huh? You guys like the top, and then you guys get top scores and stuff like that in testing amongst the nation, amongst your class, stuff like that. I'm just like, this is it, huh? This is it. This is America's brightest. I shouldn't say that. It's funny though, man. It's funny. It's like Bernie Mac when he makes fun of his kids and stuff, whatever. It's like, man, he just jokes America. That's what it is, man. It's just funny. It's funny. You just gotta laugh at it. They're incredible. They have an unlimited amount of potential. They will be a million times better than I can ever imagine myself being. Easily, they are easily the best versions of me without a doubt. It doesn't even cross my mind. But there's times where I'm like, damn, what's going on in y'all head? I mean, there's times where I'm like, damn, what's going on in my head? So I just decided to share that story with y'all. That shit had me rolling, man. That shit had me rolling, man. For those who don't have kids, man, think twice. Think twice about having kids because whew, you gotta have patience. You gotta have patience. And, oh my God, I'm a patient person, but at the same time, I'm not a patient person. So I struggle. I struggle. All right, to get into today's first topic, we have the digital dollar. I know I mentioned it before, and I mentioned it how they tried to sneak it in last year in one of their little CARES, COVID bills, whatever. I wouldn't be surprised they're trying to sneak it in this year too. Or who knows if they ain't sneaking into the National Defense Authorization Act or wherever bill they try to throw in all the time and stuff where no one's paying attention. But you have a article here from Forbes, which I think I guess I reached my limit on Forbes and Bloomberg and stuff, as far as free. I think it's Forbes and Bloomberg and someone else too, as far as free articles. I'm not paying for your shit. Like what? Why you got enough advertisement stuff? You want to hide articles behind paywalls? Come on, man. But it says Fed Chair Powell says digital dollar is a high priority. So it says as institutional interest in cryptocurrency grows following Bitcoin's blistering rally at the beginning of the year, Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell said the central bank is looking closely at the prospect of issuing a digital dollar. I'm telling you, man, people be lying. The people be lying. They already did all of it. They already did all this. And there's several episodes. I think there's probably one or two easily podcast episodes that I did talking about this. Hell, I wrote a paper in college about this. Like, it's right there. Actually, that could be what I'll be talking about. I know I did an episode about it, but I know I'm also thinking of a website in my head, but I wrote a paper on it. That's why. But I told them, like, hey, digital currency is right here. It's right here. I don't know what to tell y'all. It's here. It's been here. It's just waiting for the right time to put it on you. Meanwhile, it's already happening. It just doesn't matter whether you know it or not. Because do you know your money in your bank account is already digital? It's already ones and zeros until you try to take cash out. And then you have your cash shortage. You have your coin shortage over the past year. There's nothing you can do about it. Pay attention to those little those kiosks or those point of sale systems or POS, whatever you want to call them, at your grocery store, at your gas station. Hell, Wawa has a tap your near field communication, as far as using your Samsung Pay, Google Pay, Apple Pay, Amazon Pay. They're doing all these things and all behind the scenes. MasterCard, Visa have already allowed cryptocurrency transactions. I told y'all about using my debit card with Uphold, and with Robinhood, buying things using stocks, buying gas using XRP, buying groceries using gold. Like, I've already done it. It's already here. You just don't know about it because you're not paying attention. It says digital central bank currencies are forms of money issued by countries, blah, blah. We know what digital currencies are. Or central bank currencies, the same stuff they already do now. Federal Reserve is central bank. Your Rothschild's banks. I keep saying all the stuff I'm not supposed to talk about, whatever. There is no not supposed to talk about anything. In a free society, anything and everything is supposed to be talked about if we live in a free society. So just because they want to call it a digital central bank currency, it's the same as central bank currency. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It says they're different from decentralized cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, which aren't controlled by one central player, though some of the underlying technology is the same. Pay attention. As Bitcoin prices go up and down and stuff, all they do is constantly take jabs at Bitcoin. Meanwhile, these are the same people that make money off of Bitcoin. I talked about before how the Department of Justice has, like, I think a 9,000 or something like that, maybe 10,000 or 9 million. I can't remember what the number was, but they seized a lot of Bitcoin in the Silk Road operations and over the past. Actually, ever since the creation of Bitcoin. I wouldn't be surprised if Bitcoin is some type of deep state psychological operation with China and Iran, someone like that involved and stuff, man. I don't put nothing past anything anymore, because as long as you're paying attention to history, present, you'll find out in the future how all this stuff makes sense. Everything's hindsight is 2020. Everything makes sense after you see all the dominoes fall, and all of a sudden you can see the picture from the point of view of above. But it's saying that it's different from decentralized cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, which aren't controlled by one central player. But it kind of is. You have what they call them, your whales. So if your whales move different things, take it off an exchange and put it into a wallet, or they dump a whole bunch of cryptocurrency stuff, guess what? All of a sudden, bam, the price of cryptocurrency or Bitcoin goes up and down. And then a lot of cryptocurrencies are coupled with the rise and fall of Bitcoin. XRP has been showing the decoupling in the past, I want to say past year or so. But if the price of Bitcoin goes up, all the other cryptocurrencies go up. And then there's like 1,000 plus number of other random cryptocurrencies that no one even knows about. And a lot of them do dog shit, like a Dogecoin. They might have some type of utility, but It's actually a joke. There's so many things out there. And it's done intentional, man, because people are trying to make money off of it. Actually, that's what it is. Everybody's trying to make money off of it, whether you are your small time players in the financial markets or whether it's your JP Morgans or just your regular Wall Street investors like I think Apollo or BlackRock and things that I think we talked about before on this podcast. You gotta pay attention to finance. I know it might sound confusing or complicated, but it's by design. It's by design. You just gotta focus on the words that you do know and the words that you don't know. I do it all the time. Like I look up the words I don't know because I try to find, how does it make sense to me? Because they want this to be complicated, but it's not. They want to, digital currency, cryptocurrency is all. No, it's the same shit, man. We're talking about ones and zeros. When you're talking about digital cryptocurrency, cryptography, all it is encrypted. That's it. That's it. It's encrypted. And then you talk about blockchain, like Bitcoin, meaning that it's encrypted. It's literally a block. As far as encryption, kind of how you visualize a block or whatever. I should have found a video to show you guys. Think about it. I should have did that instead. But yeah, it's all encrypted. And then when it's talking about blockchain, so you have one encrypted block of data. So as each little, what a block is data, put up encrypted data on each side. Then you create a new one that's connected to each other. And then you kind of want to have, it's kind of more of a, I want to say not peer-to-peer processing, but more of like a checks and balance, where one thing is checked off by another person on the node or on the network, or another entity checks it off, and then in order to mine Bitcoin, you need a GPU, graphics processing unit, to do all these complex computer calculations, computations, and stuff, mathematical or algebraic problems to process it. Yeah, I'm trying to explain it in not confusing way, and I know it still sounds confusing. Damn, I did a horrible job. That's it. I'm trying to do it on the fly, and I did a horrible job. I explained it sometimes in the past before decently, but let's be honest, I'm doing a fucking horrible job right now. I apologize. Like I say, I'm my own worst critic. But yeah, I'm gonna try to find a video, and maybe I'll show it tomorrow or something like that. Yeah, because it's like I said, it sounds confusing, but it's not. But when you're talking about digital cryptocurrency and stuff, it's the same thing. You have your bank account, just applied to a blockchain. So blockchain is just for accounting purposes. Everything's accounted for. So that's the thing. This stuff is not private. It's all accounted for somewhere. And as long as you can have the human element where you can access these certain nodes, these servers and stuff like that through the human element, now you have control over it. So even though it's decentralized, in essence, it's still not, because if you can control the people behind the scenes, the human beings involved in the network, then you're good. But you still want human beings involved in the network, because obviously we don't want completely a full decentralized AI control Bitcoin ledger, XRP ledger, any type of decentralized or distributed ledger technology. You don't want any of those things fully AI, because we know what happens when you have too much AI control. you get Skynet from the Terminator movies. We know what happens when AI takes over, because the most logical option for the AI is to get rid of human beings. That's how it goes, man. We're too emotional, we're too irrational, we're too unpredictable. So from a logical standpoint, it makes sense to get rid of human beings because we're unpredictable. You can't have that type of predictability when you're trying to have infrastructures and networks and you want to have consistency. Oh man, I felt like I just wrapped my head around all that stuff and confused myself in a sense. So it says Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen expressed the same view on Monday. So now you have the Treasury and the Federal Reserve. So you have the private and the government entities hand in hand walking, saying, oh yeah, we're going to have digital cryptocurrency. Yeah, don't worry. We don't know when we're going to do it though. They're lying. It says too many Americans don't have access to easy payment systems and banking accounts. And I think this is something to a digital dollar. I think this is something that a digital dollar, a central bank digital currency, could help with. It's funny because I know I talked about the other day about uh, Joe Biden saying that minorities and stuff like that don't know how to use the internet to register for the COVID-19 vaccine. Don't take that shit anyways. That's in my opinion. And then at the same time, people in the comments were like, oh, well, a lot of people don't have access to the internet because you're in the rural areas or wherever the case may be. Yet here they're saying right here that it'll make it everything as far as money goes would be so much easier for people if it's digital. Well, in order for it to be digital, then you have to have access to the internet. People just say shit, man. People literally just say shit just to say it. Just because it makes sense, or you know what? It makes people feel good. That's what it's about. It's emotions. We are emotional creatures. We are governed by our emotions. Because when you actually think about these things from a logical standpoint, it doesn't make sense, man. One entity is telling you who in charge of the executive branch, supposedly. You have Biden saying now it's hard for minorities to get there, and then people are saying, oh, to get online and register for a vaccination shot. And at the same time, people are defending and saying, oh, no, it's out of context. Minorities don't have access to the internet. And then here you have the Treasury Secretary, Janet Yellen, saying too many Americans don't have access to easy payment systems and banking accounts. I think this is something that a digital dollar, a central bank digital currency could help with. Meaning people need to have access to the internet. That's it. So what are they talking about? They're just saying things, man. They're saying things. All they're doing is trying to get an emotional response out of you. At the same time, predictive programming, getting you ready for it. When they say, oh yeah, it sounds like this is something we should look into, they're getting you ready for it. They already done it. That's how the government works. That's my time in the military. That's all we talked about. Like, hey, you undersell it, but in public, but behind the scenes, you ramp it up and stuff. So it makes you look that much better when you come out with it. Like, oh, look how, just like Trump did it last year with the vaccine. It's like, oh, everybody's saying, oh, we're not gonna have a vaccine for 22 months or 18 months, stuff like that. And it's like, no, we'll have it by the end of the year. And they're like, oh, we're not gonna have it by the end of the year. And he's like, yeah, we are. And then he's overselling it, and then the rest of the people are underselling it, and then you have the vaccine by the end of the year. Even though I don't know when they decide to fix and make a vaccine so fast when they really haven't isolated the virus. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. They're just doing stuff, man. They're just out here making shit up. Let's see what else she says. Yellen also suggested that a digital cryptocurrency could help make payments faster, safer, and cheaper. No shit. That's literally straight off of Ripple's website, man. That's literally straight off of Ripple's website. And yet people still think XRP is not worth anything. They're just messing with people, man. They're just fucking with us. Powell said, wait a minute. He said that's because proponents of the technology say it will help simplify complicated, often days-long settlement processes. Settlement. XRP Ledger, cross-border settlements, faster transactions, faster payments. Pay attention to the verbiage, man. Pay attention to the words. These people are literally going off the same script. They're going off the same script. Powell said Tuesday that since the U.S. dollar serves as the world's reserve currency, it's more important to get the project right than it is for the United States Central Bank to be first to unveil a digital version of its currency. But China already beat them to it. Oh, look, the article even says that. China is testing its own version of a digital yuan, and earlier this month distributed 10 million yuan, about $1.5 million, as part of a major test for the project. I mean, they've been doing that. I reported that last year. They've been doing that. They've been doing it. See, China trying to oversell themselves. Like, look. They want to sell it. Look, yeah, we're doing this. Meanwhile, the United States is underselling it because they got a whole network planned out. They're just waiting for the right time to roll it out, or on their own times table, because I'm sure it goes hand in hand with something else. Oh, look at this. BlackRock, like I just said. Bitcoin has soared to record highs this year as a major record highs this year as major corporations like BlackRock, BNY Mellon, and Tesla have announced new moves into cryptocurrencies. Not everyone is bullish on the most popular cryptocurrency, which is incredibly volatile and prone to wild price swings. Earlier this year, Bank of America called Bitcoin's rapid rise the quote unquote mother of all bubbles. So it's the mother of all bubbles, and the stock market is going to crash soon. All by design. So if Bitcoin crashes and the stock market crashes, then something else has to take over because they always have a backup plan. They just want to swoop in. It's problem, reaction, solution. They have a solution, but now they give you the problem and then you react. And then they come in with the solution and be like, oh, look, we got something to fix this problem. You mean the same problem that you created? And to be honest with you, man, this is genius. That's genius. That's how you manipulate the population. That's how you control people. Like, that's literally genius. If I was that type of person that I had no problem, messing with people's lives and messing with their hearts and minds and their emotions, I would do it. It makes complete logical sense because you can't just come out and do something. You need people to feel like one is their idea, and you also want people to say, "Hey, help me." And see, that's why you can't be dependent on the government because that's what they want you to do. But they want you to do it on your terms because they cannot force you to do anything because of free will, or at least the illusion of free will from our human perspective or whatnot, or at least our lower conscious being perspective. You can't do anything about it. They can't force you to do anything. No one has no right, or no one can take away your rights. You can do whatever you want to do whenever you want to do it. Now, are there consequences? Is there a cause and effect to actions that you take? Of course. But if you want to do it, you can do it. And it's up to someone else to stop you. I remember all the time, like at my job, they'll come at me and be like, oh, well, hey, Sergeant Jackson, you didn't do this. And then the airmen under my shift, they'd be like, well, Sergeant Jackson, they said they're going to come talk to you. I was like, no, they're not. It's like, Sergeant Jackson, yeah, they said they're going to talk to you. They're going to tell you do this and that. I was like, they're never going to talk to me. And there was a couple people, this has been happening for the longest, couple years, even at other bases. I was like, nobody's going to say anything to me. And even when even other NCOs such as myself or higher rankings would be like, hey, Sergeant Jackson, you can't do that because you're going to get in trouble. I was like, no, I'm not. I was like, because no one has the balls. I was like, I'm going to do whatever I want to do. And it's their job to correct me. It's their job to punish me. But I'm daring everybody to punish me. I mean, I wasn't doing anything serious. This is just like small time stuff. Like, man, I can't even think of an example. Like, Sergeant Jackson, how come you didn't make a fresh item for the midnight meal? How come you didn't cook what's on the menu? Why'd you put this out? Well, because we had like 5 pans of this, so I kind of figured that don't want to waste the Air Force money. And even though the 20 people that's going to come in here tonight and eat are all going to get breakfast, I don't see the point of making 15, 25, 50 servings of this new fresh item that no one's going to eat. I'm sorry if I use my brain. That's the type of shit. And I know nobody's going to come at me because one, they do try to come at me. I have something for it because I'm coming from a logical standpoint. I'm not doing this because I'm lazy. I don't care about this. I got to work regardless. I'm getting paid regardless. Probably not getting paid enough, but I'm getting paid regardless. So I'm going to do whatever I want to do. And it's up to you as my supervisor or my leadership to correct me. I dare you to correct me. Do your job. Do your job. No one does anything. Maybe I'm I'm not going to lie. People are probably on edge because I snap a lot. I cuss. This is me cussing in a normal tone. So imagine what happens when someone really pisses me off. It's a little bit different. But I'm a small guy. But, I'm a little unhinged, man. Something's not right up here in the head. I'm a little off. I'm more aggressive because of the military and stuff. And because of deployments, wherever, and training, where else the case may be. So I'm a little more aggressive. But I'm a little off, man. I don't trust myself at a working environment job, especially in the civilian world, because, man, I can't handle people, man. I can't handle people. You can't come up with me saying all types of different stuff or whatever and stuff like that. No, no, no. Because in the military, at least I knew I was gonna have the UCMJ at me or something like that. You know, as opposed to me being a civilian life where I can cut you out. You can fire me or whatever. I get unemployment. I go get another job or something. I don't know. That's just my whole spin on it or whatever. But it's 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 funny to me because this is what these people do, man. They sit here and they talk about things and they're like, oh yeah, we got this big problem. They're selling you the problem. They already had a solution. They already created a digital dollar. Like literally. You have the USD Tether and you have the US digital coin or United States dollar coin, which is USDC, which is I believe from Circle, which means owned by Square, which I think is still about owned by Jack Dorsey, Twitter. But they're all connected to each other, and I think Coinbase, I believe Coinbase backs the USDC coin, which is funny because they're going public. I think they just put up their direct listing public today or yesterday. These people, and like I know this might go over your head or whatever, but pay attention to that. These people create the problem because they already have a solution. All they want you to do is look at them like, oh, look, we helped you out. They want you to come to them for help. That's it. That's it. Meanwhile, if you're paying attention and you understand the game that they're playing, you can become a millionaire just like they are. Because they're not smart, man. These people aren't smart. They're not smart. That's what it comes down to. They're just in a different game than the rest of us are playing. I talked about that heavily, probably too much yesterday. Like they're just playing a different game than we are. That's it. You think you gotta get up and go to work and have a good paycheck and have a good paying job and go to school and you have a little credit card there, maybe a student loan debt, and you're trying to do the right things. Meanwhile, these people are playing a completely different game because the millions of dollars that they're trying to make has nothing to do with getting up and going to work. Understand that. It has nothing to do with getting up and going to work. It's making the money work for you. They're playing a different game than you are. They're playing a different game. This is something I had to learn over the past couple of years when I got in the military. I was already getting into investments later on in my career. And really, it was just me finally sitting down and saying, hey, I done missed too many opportunities to become a millionaire easily. I missed the opportunity in 2017 to become a millionaire. I got into it too late. Even though I knew about cryptocurrency, I got into it too late. But I still have a chance to make money. We all have a chance to make money. And that's why I'm talking about this, because these people are playing a different game. But the game is not hard. The game is rigged, but you can still get a piece of the pie. Because they don't care if us little guys make millions because they think we don't understand how money works. And to be honest with you, they're correct. I remember I had to sit down and after one of the papers I wrote in college, I think it was last year, maybe last summer like that. No, it was like 2 years ago now. Think about it. Yeah. I was saying how money is an illusion. It's not real. Money isn't real. And talking about going to a different resource-based economic system, as far as Jack Fresco talks about in the Venus Project. But I was trying to explain the concept that money isn't real. I remember my teacher, after my little presentation, a little PowerPoint presentation, like 5 minutes, just kind of going over the synopsis of my paper. And she's like, well, money, I don't think that's how money works. I'm like, no, money doesn't exist. And she's like, no, they have to have something. I'm like, no, they don't. Look at it. Go look at their website. Go look at a United States Treasury website. Go look at it. Ain't no money, man. There's no gold. All these countries been buying on gold these past few years, but where's the gold at? You think it's in Fort Knox? I don't think so. I don't think there's no gold in Fort Knox, man. It's like, oh, what you gotta, they can't just be printing money out of nowhere. Yes, that's literally what they're doing. The U.S. Treasury says, hey, we need to make some money to go to the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve said, okay, yeah, we can increase the money supply. U.S. Treasury go back and print more money. That's it. There's $1.3 trillion or $1.9 trillion they're talking about in this COVID relief bill. Where's the money coming from? Nowhere. This is imaginary. But guess who's going to pay for it in taxes? Oh, not me. Not even my kids. Probably my grandkids. maybe my kids in their 40s or 50s, and then my grandkids, and then my great grandkids. Everyone's generation after us. Debt upon debt upon debt. Look at your dollar. It says this is legal tender. It's not even real. It's not even real. It's debt money. It's imaginary money. It's debt upon debt. They're literally, you can't even pay off your debt because you can't, it's illegal to use debt to pay off debt. It's illegal to use debt to pay off debt. Legally speaking, technically speaking, you don't have to pay nothing that you owe because you can't owe anything because you never actually got any real money. Oh, we're gonna have to break down that one episode. I'm gonna have to break. That'll be the next thing, the concept of money. Show you guys how fake all this shit is. You want to talk about monopoly money? They're literally playing with monopoly money. They're literally just making up shit, and that's why they're talking about. Oh, the digital dollar. We did. They're making shit up. It's already digitized. It's already digitized. They're just gonna put it on a blockchain and make it more encrypted. But at the same time, they're gonna have access to everyone's digital wallets. Your bank accounts are probably already set up to have digital wallets. I mean, if Robinhood has it, right? If Uphold has it, if PayPal has it, you don't even need a bank account. You can pay your bills through PayPal. You can have a direct deposit through PayPal, and you can buy Bitcoin through PayPal and do all those other different things. What do you need a bank for? They're changing the game literally right in front of our eyes. And they use COVID-19 to accelerate the process. Something that will take maybe 5-10 years because you gotta wait for generations to change and stuff. You gotta wait for older generations to die. That's why I feel like COVID-19 they use to kill off the older generation so you can bring in new something because it's hard to change older people. Because who's gonna hold on to cash the most? The older generation. Not just the ones in your nursing homes and stuff like that, but you're gonna those certain people. Man, I just okay, no, never mind. I'm thinking about something else. But yeah, you're gonna talk about. I mean, you're gonna have those issues as far as the older generation and change, because millennials are people my age, 30 or 40, 50 years old. We've been using credit cards and credit cards back in the like 70s when they started to come out. That right there was already a change over from cash. You think they've just been popping up out of nowhere? No, they've been slowly doing this over decades, manipulating us, programming us, making us do things that is really illogical. Because if you can't hold on to your own money physically, what is it then? They're gonna have access to all our information, and it sucks because I'm investing in stuff to make money, but at the same time, I'm a hypocrite. I'm a hypocrite because this goes against things of what I stand for. This is not free. This is not free. It's not privatized. The only way to make this free is, I don't know, if the United States is a sovereign nation and we make sure we have our own network, as far as, yeah, we could do transactions digitally, encryptively, through blockchain and stuff like that, through cryptocurrencies. We could do that, but have our network be separated or be more encrypted than the rest of the other networks around the world. Only way we can do that is if we, I don't know, store everything on a quantum computer, or quantum computer servers, or a quantum computer network. A quantum network. Almost like Quantum Initiative that I showed you guys yesterday. And making sure our encryptions cannot be cracked. Because with quantum computers, every encryption from a classical computer, from the hash, not get too technical, but yeah, just the basic encryption that a quantum computer can crack that in like an hour. So we're talking about encryptions, but yeah, with quantum computers, that encryptions are irrelevant. You will need a quantum network to ensure that everything is really encrypted and secure digitally. It's almost a good thing that Trump signed that Quantum Initiative Act, huh? Like I said, these people are playing a different game than what we're playing. They're thinking thousands of moves ahead. We are just sitting here as regular people reacting. All I'm trying to do is to survive. That's it. That's the only reason I'm into. Not the only reason. I mean, I have a thirst for knowledge and stuff like that. But at the same time, what keeps me motivated to look at all this different news and everything, because I'm trying to figure out how to survive. Because we are beyond surviving the physical means. I want to survive in a modern world. So in order to survive in a modern world, I have to understand how the modern world plays their game, and not from the regular Joe everyday person standpoint, but from these Wall Street, from these elite, these social elites, these politicians. What are they into? How do they make their money? Oh, what you got going on? Instead of sitting there thinking that, oh man, they all just passing money down. Yeah, it's real easy to lose all that money. You can blow all that money instantly. Look at all those lottery winners that blow that money instantly. They don't care about us regular people making money because they know we don't understand the concept of money. Because in order to understand the concept of money, you have to know that it's fake. It doesn't exist. They're making shit up. There's no value. You have gold that has value because it has real properties, and silver. Gold is used and silver is used in, I don't know, semiconductors. Ironically, there's a semiconductor shortage around the world. You gotta be self-sufficient. So, United States, if we're not self-sufficient as far as getting our own gas and natural resources and building our own cars and stuff like that, and we outsource this to other places around the world, then we lose our independence through economy, through resources, through manufacturing. They're playing a different game than the rest of us, man. So much so that here's an article from CNBC. The Fed system that allows banks to send money back and forth went down for several hours. You don't think that's by design? You really think, oh man, the system having to crash down? Let's see. I want to know how they're gonna spend this. Says the Federal Reserve system that allows financial institutions to send money back and forth electronically went down for several hours Wednesday, but appeared to be coming back online later in the afternoon. The quote unquote operational error. That's not a cover story. As the Fed described it, impacted multiple services, including its pivotal automated clearinghouse system, which connects depository and related institutions sending electronic credit and debit transfers. Your ACH transfer. The way anytime you transfer money, that's what it is in the United States of America. Your ACH transfer. And then overseas, around the world, I think it's the Swift bank transfer system. All old. It's all old. It says there were no initial indications that foul play was suspected. So that means it's an inside job. That means it was done intentional. It's not an operational error. They did this intentional because when you're talking about computers and error stuff, there's literally, for those who are in IT or know anything in IT, in information technology career field or anything about computers, when something's wrong, it notifies you right away. And then there's fail safes upon fail safes upon fail safes to make sure that the whole network doesn't crash and go down. So when they say to me, and this is just me having my own theory, when it says operational error, well, that means some human did something and that was intentional. Because if you're not saying foul play was out of somebody offsite or some other, outside entity, then you're doing it intentional. Or they could be covering for an outside entity, which usually still means that it was done intentionally. You just pay off somebody to do it for you to make it look like you didn't do it yourself. The DNC does it all the time. They did it with their Russia hack. Out of like somebody hacked into their servers, but it was them themselves that did it. Tori says so. She's the one that did something like that. If I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong. But it says along with the federal ACH service, other systems impacted include Check 21, Fed Cash, Fed Wire, and a national settlement service. Remember what I said? XRP Ledger, decentralized or distributed ledger technology. They want to decentralize so something like this doesn't happen. They're just saying this stuff, man. They already had a solution. This happens Wednesday, and yet you have the Fed chair, Jerome Powell, and your Treasury Secretary, Janet Yellen, talking about, oh, yeah, we need a digital dollar. At the same time, the Fed goes down. Come on, man. It's all these little small dots, these things that seem, it's your chaos theory. A whole bunch of events that seem random are actually connected. Order through chaos, which is what? Freemason thing or something like that. I forget. One of these occulted or secret society groups. Let's see. It says FedWire Fund Service, FedWire Security Service, and National Settlement Service has resumed processing and operating normally. The statement further noted that the glitch, for real, glitch. We really gonna call it a glitch, huh? This ain't a game of Madden, man. This is people money we're talking about here. You understand? This is people's money we're talking about here. And there's an operational error. There's a glitch in the system, huh? A glitch in the matrix, right? A black cat walking by is a glitch in the matrix. The statement further noted that the glitch impacted payment deadlines and said the Fed will communicate remediation efforts to our customers when available. So those that had any financial issues or mess up their money, I guess they're gonna find a way to give them back their money. Setting up, here's your problem. Here's your problem right here. Here's your problem. They're setting up the case for the digital dollar. Problem, reaction, solution. This is hilarious. And that phrase, David Icke was the first person I ever heard say that. It just keeps talking about a list of services that were impacted, pretty much all the Fed services and stuff. Whatever. And then it says the Fed has been developing a digital payment system for several years. That, among other things, would help unbanked people have a greater access to payment systems. What I literally just read in the other article. Right? And I said they've been doing this for years. You really think they already don't have it? They're lying, man. Outages, particularly with the ACH system, can have wide-ranging impacts. The system handles direct deposits, payroll, Social Security, and income tax refunds, as well as auto payments for mortgages and utility bills. Your money, when you go to pay your bills, or when you don't get your direct deposit, they're setting up the problem. They're telling you the problem. We, the people, have the reaction, but they already have the solution. Digital central bank cryptocurrencies. They already have it. Look at Fed Cash distributes currency and coins, which have been in tight supply since the COVID-19 pandemic took hold. They're just fucking with us, man. They're just fucking with us. That's it, man. You gotta learn how to read these articles, man. They're just all over the place. And remember we talked about before as far as GameStop and whatnot. Here you have an article from USA Today. GameStop CFO, your chief financial officer, Jim Bell, resigns a month after a trading frenzy that sent the company's valuation soaring. Why would he resign? If the company, it looked like it's on its second, third, ninth life or whatever, it's coming, is resurging back, and he's gonna resign. Let's see what the article has to say. It says GameStop's chief financial officer is leaving the company without an immediate replacement. The company announced Tuesday that Jim Bell, who served as the executive vice president and CFO, will resign from his role on March 26th. Bell's exit comes after the company's meteoric rise in stock value last month. After bets against GameStop, okay, we know that part. The GameStop saga took center stage, blah, blah. I want to know if he's going to say why. This is GameStop saga may be over. Its effect on Wall Street isn't. That's something else. GameStop said in a statement it started searching for a new CFO with the capabilities and qualifications to help accelerate GameStop's transformation. So somebody did something that the rest of the corporate world did not like, mainly Wall Street. So the CFO, Bell, did something that the rest of Wall Street said, nah, you got to go. Because he's going to resign without no immediate replacement. And that's what should get you. It wasn't planned. It says if a permanent replacement is not in place at the time of Mr. Bell's departure, GameStop intends to appoint Diana Jose, J-A-Z-E, Jajeh, who is currently Senior Vice President and Chief Accounting Officer to the role of Interim Chief Financial Officer, blah, blah, blah. So they wouldn't say. And see, that's what I wanted to notice out of this article. Would they say or would they not say exactly why he resigned? Because here we go, yet another top executive to another huge corporation resigning. This is I don't even know what the count is. Hundreds, within the hundreds in the past. What, probably since 2019, fourth quarter of 2019. So what, your October November timeframe. Yet again. This is wild to me because why? Why? You're not gonna give no reason why. You telling me GameStop stock goes up and stuff due to retail investors doing the same shit Wall Street does, and here this guy has to resign. So he obviously, they made him take the fall for something or something like that. I mean, we can theorize all day, but the fact that we don't know and the fact that it's sudden means somebody got pissed off at, and here you go. Here, take the blame. Bye. Take your little your payout, your settlement payout, wherever the case may be. Take your stocks and go. So clearly we know who's behind it. It's got to be Wall Street, because they're the ones that pissed off, actually Wall Street and the government, because they go hand in hand. But it's these little details that go under the radar. These are your news that comes on the CNN and Fox News and all the other mainstream media outlets, and they're on the ticker. They're down at the bottom. I talked about it before when I was a kid. Like, that was the first time I noticed. I'm like, wait a minute. Because I was reading the bottom thing, it'll say a bomb exploded here, or this that happened, this person stepped down. I was like, well, this is more important than what they're talking about on the screen, on the bigger picture. I mean, the more these talking heads, these broadcasts, these news anchors, I was like, this is more important. Why are we not talking about this shit? Because they don't want to talk about the more important news. They only want to talk about the things that they're told to talk about, which is nothing but distractions. And then that's why I talked about before, it's one of the reasons why I do this podcast and why I make the video and stuff, because there's so much information that doesn't even get mentioned. But I'm just giving it a more conversational tone, because this is just me thinking out loud. Because this is stuff I see, and I'm like, hey, did anybody see this? Nobody talked about this? Nobody knows about this? Like, why is this not everywhere? Like, everywhere. You have the GameStop thing happening, and all of a sudden, the CFO resigns? Hey, that's kind of foul, is it not? That's kind of foul, right? Oh, man. Crazy world, right? Close out this page. So the next topic I want to show you guys, Como makes me laugh. So this is an article from Fox News. It says mainstream media blasted for blatant hypocrisy after ignoring sexual harassment allegations against Como. But it's more talking about the silence from the liberal media, blah, blah, who cares? So the mainstream media appears to be giving cover to Democratic New York Governor Andrew Cuomo by not covering sexual harassment allegations leveled against him by former administration aide Lindsey Bolin, which I think she's the same one that said the shit about the nursing home stuff. If she's the same one, I guess she said, fuck this, I'm throwing him under the bus completely. Yep, he did this, he did that. It also seems like, the leftists, the Democrats, will ever eat their own as well. Remember, it's a dog-eat-dog world. Whether you're in any corporations, government, school, military, one person will try to crawl over you and get to the top. What, the crabs in the buckets, that scenario? Oh, I just seen an update or a notification. It says Trump's secret tax returns finally headed over to Manhattan DA after a 2-year battle. That's good. And I know you're thinking, well, you voted for Trump. You don't want that to happen. Yeah, it's private. That shouldn't happen. But once again, they're setting the stage, because all the stuff they're doing to Trump, even while he's a civilian and all this other stuff and everything, guess what? That means the same things apply, because you don't know Marjorie Taylor Greene sent in her article of impeachment for Joe Biden. Look it up on congress.gov. Articles of impeachment for Joe Biden. Actually, I gotta remind myself. I'll pull it up here in a little bit. I don't want to get too much off of this topic because we know how I go all over the fucking place. It says Borland came forward on Wednesday with explosive claims against the already embattled Democrats, saying Governor Cuomo asked her to play strip poker. I can see that happening. Uh, Made a lewd reference to Bill Clinton's infamous use of cigars, touched her lower back, kissed her on the lips, and made her generally uncomfortable. The whole kiss on the lips should be right there. Like, hey, this is not cool. That should be something right there. A very simple game to play here. Let's say Governor DeSantis, the Republican governor, Florida, with the national media. Okay, yeah, we get that scenario. Many Democrats and liberal media pundits trumpet the believe woman mantra in the rise of the Me Too. God, see, that's why I want to find it on Fox News because it's gonna have the whole right wing political spin on it as opposed to they get on my nerves. This whole left versus right thing. No one gives a shit, man. Give me the facts. I don't need your hypocrisy. I don't need your opinions and look at pointing out someone else's hypocrisy and all that stuff, man. Give me the facts. And I tried to find a decent article. I think the article I had on my phone, which for some reason I couldn't pull up, it was from the New York Post, but it was saying more a letter sent Tuesday from Democrats, 31 lawmakers by Representatives Jimmy Panetta, Democrat of California, and Ted Lieu, Democrat of California. I'm reading this on my phone right now because it will not pop up, and it's pissed me off. That's not gonna pop up. It's not syncing. My phone Safari is not syncing to my computer Safari when it usually does. Uh, yeah. No, this is talking about something else. Never mind. This is the next article. I'm confused. Okay, it was a Forbes article rather that I saw that talked about it. It was saying so. What I just read had nothing to do with this. This was about the next topic, as far as Joe Biden and nuclear launch codes. But I'm reading this on my phone. It says former Como aide details sexual harassment allegations. I'm trying to figure out. It's pretty much the same thing. All right. I thought there was something as far as which Democrats were up against it, but I think I got my topics confused. But I still wanted to show that it's funny to me that Como is just being thrown under the bus. And so they're not gonna talk about it, they're just gonna ignore it because they're just gonna let him die off on his own. That's it. And I'm sure they got another Democrat person to replace him that's gonna be coming up out of nowhere soon. But yeah, this article just talks about how it's hypocrisy and all blah blah mainstream media, as opposed to getting to the facts. See, no matter what you read and stuff, man, everybody wants to give a spin on something instead of just give me the facts. We know mainstream media, which is more majority leftist, even Fox News, which I don't know why they acting like they're any different. We know they're gonna not say anything about, especially New York Governor Andrew Cuomo. But don't even just give me the facts, man. Just give me the facts. They're still talking about it. Yeah. Uh, okay. So here's a quote. It says Lindsey Bolin, a former aide of Andrew Cuomo, accused him of sexual harassment on record today. There's no mention to this from you on your network. This is something that somebody wrote. Never mind. What? Why? Why? Oh well, at least we know that it's out there. That she put it out there. Of course, it's gonna get swept on the rug. Of course, then they're gonna try their best to spin it, or if anything, just ignore it. I mean, she's a Democrat too. She's one of his aides and stuff. So it's just another scandal that, hey, no one's really talking about with Governor Cuomo as far as his things that, well, he killed. I mean, he put people in nursing homes and killed them. Like that's just what happened because he wanted to increase the COVID-19 deaths because they get more money from federal government due to those stupid bills they want to pass in Congress and whatnot. But here, yet again, another situation where he's not saying nothing, nobody's saying nothing and stuff. It says Borland did not immediately respond when asked about a coverage blackout. Says a statement from Cuomo's office on Wednesday denied the claims. As we said before, Ms. Boland's claims of inappropriate behavior are quite simply false. just flat out deny it, huh? Just flat out deny it. All this sexual harassment, all this Me Too, but this is how much the so-called leftists and people like that, the liberal stuff, they're supposed to care about all these things, but then they don't. Every woman is supposed to be believed, but then they don't believe her, because when it's about Trump, they'll believe her. When it's about your right-wing people or your leftists or your far right leaning or whatever the case may be, anything non-left, because I think there's a lot of people that are so-called being labeled right when really they're independent. Somebody might call me right or conservative, but I'm not none of that shit. I'm me. I'm me. If you want to label me something, you can label me independent, because that's what it's registered as far as when I go to vote. It's independent. I'm an independent person. Leave me the fuck alone. That's my mindset. This is what I wanted to show you guys. This makes me laugh. So this is from Washington Times. Democrats ask Biden to cede authority on nuclear launches. Now, that's bad. That's bad because President of the United States, the commander-in-chief, charge of the military, means in charge of nuclear weapons. Remember, there's 2 nuclear launch codes. There's 2 nuclear footballs. Trump took one with him on the plane to Mar-a-Lago, which I didn't know you could do that. And apparently a new one was given to Joe Biden. That doesn't seem that's how you do things either, but whatever. There's a group of more than 30 House Democrats is asking President Biden to give up his sole control of U.S. nuclear weapons. So then he should just step down for president. He should not be president. He should not be president. If they thought he was competent enough to be president, but at the same time not competent enough to have sole control of nuclear weapons, then he should not be president. Because that's exactly what they said about Trump when they wanted to impeach him in the last couple of weeks, supposedly of him getting out of office, is that they're supposedly like, oh, we don't trust him with the nuclear launch codes, so we need to get him out of office quick. So in that case, you might as well impeach Joe Biden. Remember I said Representative Marjorie, let me look it up. Let's see. I was finna say, man, don't stupid ads and stuff. Let's see. If I type in Joe Biden impeachment, it should pop up. No. I don't remember what I actually looked up. I can't remember exactly what I looked up. If I look up impeachment, impeachment bill, Congress. Here we go. You gotta learn how to search, man. You gotta learn how to search. You see how I just couldn't write a certain thing. I had to write certain keywords, and that's using DuckDuckGo. So I put that shit in Google, I'm not getting the same results. We know that. So we're on Congress.gov, official government website. House Resolution 57, impeaching Joe R. Biden, President of the United States, for abuse of power by enabling bribery and other high crimes and misdemeanors. In the House of Representatives, January 21st, 2021, Mrs. Green of Georgia submitted the following resolution, which was referred to the Committee of the Judiciary. Resolution impeaching Joe R. Biden, President of the United States, for abuse of power by enabling bribery and other high crimes and misdemeanors. Resolved that Joseph Robinette, his name is Robinette, it's fucking weird. Biden, President of the United States, is impeached for abuse of power by enabling bribery and high crimes and misdemeanors, and that the following article of impeachment be exhibited to the United States Senate. Article of impeachment exhibited by the House of Representatives. By the House of Representatives of America, by the House of Representatives of the United States of America, in the name of itself and the people of the United States of America, against Joseph Robinette Biden, President of the United States of America, in maintenance and support of his impeachment against him for abuse of power by enabling bribery and other high crimes and misdemeanors. Notice how they say the same shit over and over for legal purposes. One of the main paragraphs here says, in his conduct as a former vice president and current president of the United States in violation of his constitutional oath faithfully to execute the offices of the vice presidency and president of the United States, and to the best of his ability preserve, protect, defend the Constitution of the United States, and in violation of his constitutional duty to take care of the laws by faithfully executed, Joseph Robinette Biden abused power of the office of the vice president, enabling bribery, high crimes, blah, 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 from foreign nationals in exchange for certain favors. Actually, let me read the rest of it. But enabling bribery and other high crimes and misdemeanors by allowing his son, Hunter, to influence the domestic policy of a foreign nation and accept various benefits, including financial compensation. But see, they already label Marjorie Greene as a QAnon conspiracy theorist, stuff like that, even though she's a U.S. congresswoman, right? We're just going to completely ignore her. And we're just going to completely ignore all the evidence. They know Joe Biden's time is coming. They know it. That's why they was always saying it's a Biden-Harris administration. And that's why Kamala Harris is taking phone calls for Joe Biden. They already know he won't last. Whether it be cognitive, mental abilities, or just the fact that, well, he's corrupt. He's been corrupt. It says, as Vice President Joe Biden was a senior Obama administration official overseeing anti-corruption efforts in Ukraine. Hence, any illegal activity involving corruption conducted by Hunter Biden within or in relation to Ukraine will fall under the purview of the Office of Vice President Biden and the Obama State Department anti-corruption efforts. In fact, many State Department officials within the Obama administration repeatedly registered reservations about Hunter Biden's role on the board of a corrupt company. That's your Burisma company. Thus, I believe it's Burisma. Thus, any instance of corruption on behalf of Hunter Biden via his role as a board member of the Ukrainian-operated Burisma, an energy firm, were either not investigated or covered up. The evidence of widespread knowledge, corruption, and collusion on behalf of the Biden family with foreign nationals is clear and compelling. And guess what happened? Nothing. It's just sitting there. It was introduced, and that's it. That's it. This is, if you actually care about the United States of America, what do you think is? If you think this is a lie, that's fine. Let's disprove it. Let's get this out of the way. Let's nip this in the bud. All the stupid phrases that you can think of to say here, get rid of the shit and go on about, taking care of business and taking care of American citizens during this COVID-19 so-called pandemic that they made up. It's okay. But when shit just gets ignored, that's when I'm like, hey, I think you're lying about something. Because when you just ignore it, that means you're trying to hide something. We know what liars do. Everyone knows what a liar does. Because we all have lied in our lives. Every last one of us is a liar. I am a liar. We all have lied in our lives. Damn, we all have lied in our lives. Ooh, don't say that too many times. But I just want to show you guys that because it's a great time, because it puts things into context as far as it's probably why I don't want this guy having the nuclear launch codes. We don't know if we're going to give it to China. Understand. There's a majority of the people in this country don't actually, the whole leftist, liberal, mainstream media narrative, majority of people in the country don't go along with that shit. It just sounds good, and majority of people are afraid to say the opposite of it because they're going to be labeled racist, homophobic, transphobic, all these stupid labels that don't mean nothing. Being called a Nazi and stuff like that. All these labels that have been so taken out of context, it doesn't even matter what the definition of them actually is because they don't mean shit the ways they're constantly thrown out to everybody. You call everybody a racist, you can't call everybody a racist because it dilutes the word. So now, when we say racist, a person's racist, we're not even talking necessarily about race. We're talking about maybe someone just has a prejudice or just a simple bias that we all have. We don't even know. It just gets tossed around and labeling everybody, that dilutes the whole definition, or dilutes the whole word. It's not as serious as it once was. It's not a serious accusation anymore. It's nothing. So it says in a letter by Representative Jimmy Panetta of California, the Democrats asked that their party's leader alter the command and control structure surrounding America's nuclear arsenal so that no single person can launch the weapons. Why would you do this now? Because you don't trust Joe Biden? I mean, all means, I'm okay with that. I don't think nobody should have single authority over the nuclear launch codes. But at the same time, it's under the military branch, which means it's under the executive branch, which means it falls under the powers of that, right? But at the same time, guess what? Isn't that the whole three branches of the government? Isn't that what you learn in school as far as the United States, America, education? Yeah, I know it sucks, but then that's when my kids say, oh, Dad, we learned this. Oh, yeah. So these kids are learning this, knowing that it's three branches of government, that checks and balances are already in place. You're not going to launch a nuclear weapon unless you have support from Congress members and make sure that it's legal by the federal government, not federal government, as far as the Supreme Court. You can't declare war because the president does not declare war. That's what Congress declares war. The president, it's funny because you have like George Bush saying, oh, we declare war on terror. You know what war on terror means, right? Nothing. Nothing. It literally means nothing. We declare war on terror. No, you're going to declare war on another nation with a government. Declaring war on terror is the same thing as like declaring war on drugs. It means nothing other than you're going to do whatever you want to do as long as you say that, oh, we're fighting drugs. That's why they can do whatever they want to do now, because they're saying, oh, yeah, we're fighting terrorism. Well, what's terrorism? Oh, this guy. Yeah, he's a terrorist. Says who? Says Patriot Act that we made up after 9/11. The people just making shit up, man. Taking away our rights, which they can't take away because no one can take away your rights. They just do the illusion of taking away your rights. They do the illusion of saying that you're not free. Little shitty ass government. I'm getting in so much trouble. Trouble, whatever. It is what it is. We all know the government's shitty, man. We all know the government sucks. Like, it's flat out. We know the government sucks, man. It's not like I'm saying something horrific. It's not like I'm saying something that's not obvious. We know the government sucks. The government know they suck. Like these congressmen, these congresswomen, these senators, all these people, they know they suck. They know it's all bullshit. They know it is. But they all profit from it. And that's the problem, because they shouldn't be profit from it. They shouldn't be profiting from none of this. You shouldn't be a United States senator and all of a sudden become a millionaire and have hundreds of millions of dollars. Hillary Clinton shouldn't be talking about, oh yeah, I'm gonna write a book. I'm gonna write a political thriller. You mean Benghazi? That you did? Did you already make that into a movie? Like, oh, I'm gonna write a political thriller. That's all they do, man. They take these incredible wild stories that they do themselves, the real truth, and then they put a propaganda spin on it, and then make it into a book, and then they make it into a movie, and then they make millions of dollars. Why does Obama have making millions of dollars off a book sale? You think that's a cover story, man? He's making money somewhere else. It's all a game. It's all a lie. Let's see what else this article says. It says the letter suggests such changes to the command of the U.S. arsenals as requiring approval also from officials in the constitutional line of succession, specifically including the Vice President, Kamala Harris, and the Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi. So we want Nancy Pelosi and Kamala Harris to have a say-so as far as the nuclear weapons, because only the president in charge is a commander-in-chief, not the vice president. The vice president has nothing to do with the military, because you have your Secretary of Defense, and then you have your Secretary of Air Force, Secretary of Army, all these different generals and stuff. So you already have all these different people already from a military standpoint ready to launch nuclear weapons and stuff going through each other. But now we want to include Kamala Harris and Nancy Pelosi. Does that sound like a good idea? And it says neither of whom can be removed by the president if they disagree. Oh man, look what they're doing, man. Look what they're doing. Look what they're doing. They're setting it up. But when he takes a fall, where the case may be, because I don't know who says, I think I had to look more into it as far as the constitutional uh, regulations or where the case may be. If the president goes down and the vice president goes up, does that mean the Speaker of the House goes into vice president mode? I have to do my own research again and make sure I know exactly that before I just sit here and say it. But uh, yeah. Let's leave it there. The U.S. nuclear codes carried in the famous football allow the president to launch America's nuclear arsenal, a change that was made during the Cold War because nuclear weapons theoretically could begin a new era. Could theoretically could begin and end a war within an hour. God damn, I'm having trouble now reading. And before there would be time to go through the traditional process of declaring war and mobilizing an army. Duh. And it's the whole point of nuclear weapons, bro. To drop the bomb on them. Oh wow. And then there's a picture of Kamala Harris. That don't even look like Kamala Harris, to be honest with you. Oh, okay, yeah, whatever. It says the nearly 3 dozen Democrats, though, more fear a US president starting a war on his own. But you're just taking powers away from Joe Biden. Because it's not about president of the United States. It's about taking powers away from Joe Biden because he's already a puppet. We know that. But now they're trying to make it more of a legal thing where, oh, you guys don't really know how much of a puppet he really is. But we're just going to kind of cover some of our tracks. It says, while any president would presumably consult with advisors before ordering a nuclear attack, there is no requirement to do so, the letter adds. Yeah, because what do you need a requirement? When you're talking about launching a nuclear weapon that was going to kill millions of people and affect the atmosphere for decades, I don't think that's a choice anybody can just lightly go into. Even though they said this for years about Trump. Oh, he's too crazy. We don't trust him. And he's the only president in my lifetime to not start a war. Amazing. Crazy, right? Another crazy concept, I like to say. As the military is obligated to carry out the order if they assess it is legal under the laws of war. Under the current posture of the U.S. nuclear forces, that attack would happen in minutes. You don't have to carry out an attack. There's always a misconception when you talk about military. You follow orders, but if the orders put you or other people in immediate danger or puts the lives of you and the other members in danger as far as being a safety issue, you don't have to follow that direct order. Basically, use some goddamn common sense, and I hate that phrase, but use some logic, use some reasoning, use some critical thinking skills. If you know the order that you're being told to follow is completely irrational, don't follow that shit. That's plain and simple what it is. Yeah, you might get in trouble for it, but guess what? You'll also get a medal for it. They just won't tell you about it. Or they just won't tell nobody else about it. That's exactly what's gonna happen, man. If it sounds crazy, don't follow it. If it sounds stupid, don't deal with it. It's funny how all these different things kind of go under the radar, right? Because these are important issues. I just sat here and covered money. I said covered nuclear launch codes and stuff like that. These are important issues, yet they go under the radar like it doesn't matter. Why is that? Why is things like this going on the radar? And it's clearly important. They're too busy trying to tell us about COVID-19. One of the biggest distractions in modern history is COVID-19 because it's the flu. It's literally the flu. And you say that, you think I'm crazy? Go look up flu statistics. I bet you can't really find none anymore. Huh. That's crazy, right? How many people die from the flu every year? About 500,000? How many people are dead up till now from COVID-19? 500,000? Huh. That's crazy. That's crazy. I could be wrong as far as the numbers as far as influenza though. But do your own research. Just know that, nobody talks about the flu anymore. They literally rebranded the flu in our lifetime within a year and called it COVID-19. But they use it as a distraction. Because how many people are going to talk about the nuclear launch codes and what they're trying to do to give it to Kamala Harris and Nancy Pelosi? To have them part of the secession, that they should have their input on it. Do we want these people to have their input on it? Hell, we don't want Joe Biden to have his input on it. If he actually is the president. Still makes you wonder if he is or not, right? Because once again, those military troops are still in D.C. Now what is the reason for? Everything came and went. The inauguration came and went. The impeachment trial came and went. Yet there's still troops in D.C. And I think I've seen something that says D.C. is looking to become a statehood, looking for statehood. Oh, you mean like what I've been talking about? How the Washington District of Columbia is not part of the United States of America, is not part of the Union? That they want to become a state? That they want their statehood? That's probably something that we had to dive into tomorrow too, as well, depending on what other things happen in the news. But even though this seems like it's not a big news, and I probably won't get the same amount of listens or views on this episode because it seems like it's not big, but digital dollar? What gets more bigger than your fucking money? Like, understand that. What's more important in the news than your money? I'm literally talking about your money being digitized, decentralized, blockchain technology. What's more important than that? Knowing that your cash literally means nothing now. I mean, well, it already was not me. That's the problem too. Your cash already didn't mean anything as well. So it's no big deal to go from paper money to digital money because it's all imaginary, regardless of how you want to look at it. Once we got off the gold standard, gold backing the dollar, it became the petrodollar, and we went into the Middle East to help out those ally stuff to make sure they oil reserves and stuff like that and lands are protected for Saudi Arabia and UAE and wherever else around the Persian Gulf and the peninsula. As we go there and to help out, and then the oil and then the U.S. dollar is backed up by oil, foreign oil, and not by gold, not by real fundamental or financially sound financial principles, economic principles. We're out here just throwing around monopoly money and saying, oh yeah, $1.3 trillion. Bam, good. It's cool. That sounds good to me. Right. Great. Oh, you guys want $2,000? Here you go. $2,000. Okay. Where is it coming from? where you getting his money from? Who's paying for this stuff? Taxes? They say they're not going to increase taxes, but yet every time they have a new bill and trying to have government funding and spending and stuff, they're going to increase taxes because they got to pay off the debt to the Federal Reserve, the private bank, the Rothschilds own private bank. You got to pay it off to them. Yeah, we're going to have to do a history lesson. We're going to have to talk about this as far as the imaginary money, as far as Federal Reserve Act 1913, 1933. I forget what else happened as far as Federal Reserve. Jekyll Island, off the coast of Georgia. Even more crazier is how the Titanic ship is connected to that as well. You know what? I'm gonna leave y'all with that because that'll get your brain thinking a little bit too if you haven't heard about that before. As always, podcast 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, live on D Live. You can watch it there, or just check out the video later on YouTube, my Aussie channel. I'll upload the podcast to Podbean and Spotify and Apple Podcasts and whoever else I got it going out to. Check out my website, DamienJackson22.com. That's where I have all my social media account links and the podcast links. I'll be back on tomorrow, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'll upload the podcast immediately after. Hope you guys have a good day. Enjoy life. Spread positivity. Spread love. Be happy. All that good shit, right? So until next time.